Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So today, we've got a very affectionate Mr. Monster who was already in the healing room before I decided I was going to make a movie. So he's not moving. He says, I'm here, and he's got lots of prayers to share. So let's see, what cards were we drawn to today? So today we're going to use the Archangel Power Tarot cards. Ooh, now he's moving. We've got the Soul's Journey. And then we've got Talking to Heaven cards. Mr. Monster, you got a lot of fur to shed. Okay. So, the Talking to Heaven Oracle cards, the Power Archangel ones were the first ones to pop out. But the ones that kind of stood out the most were the Talking to Heaven. And then I got the message about somebody being very worried about their current situation. That, bye Mr. Monster. He said he didn't want to be on camera. Someone being very worried about their situation, that they've lost somebody. And it's like they used to always like soundboard with a passed over loved one. And so it's very hard for them to make that decision now in this time. And so even the first one to come out is Three of Michael, which is Three of Swords, which is all about heartbreak. And it is heartbreaking when we lose someone. And so what's the next one that came out? It is in reverse, but we got the Knight of Ariel. With trustworthy, understanding, devoted, and funny. So it kind of seems like not trusting your own actions because, well, it's just a new way of thinking, a new way of being. I'm hearing that the person who you used to always soundboard with, it's almost like they had the skills in one area and what you provided was in another area. And so that's why the trustworthiness isn't in someone else, but it's within yourself, because you always kind of put that reliance on someone. So Spirit's really wanting you to step into that role and trust your guidance. But what else do we got? We got quite a bit of cards today. We got Four of Ariel in reverse. Are they all in reverse? No. We got Two of Michael in reverse. And then we've got Change Your Life. So we'll look into that. And then how many of this? Two, I'm hearing. This is your soul's journey. And this was the second deck of cards I was drawn to. We've got change. And we've got happiness. And I felt like it was very important that these cards were important, although they didn't seem to stand out the most. They weren't first, they weren't the last. You know, it's like that middle child, just the in-between. Oh, that's beautiful. We've got from the Talking to Heaven, I'll always point you in the right direction. And so I can't help but think, are most of them? No, I was going to say, are most of them circles, but it's not. This is fear that's over here. This card's not part of the reading. But when I looked at both of these, they both kind of look like these little compasses. And this one says happiness. This reminds me of the Three of Cups. It means like friends and community and relationships. And so you are being guided on a beautiful path to, even if it's something that you don't know within yourself, like your car breaks down and you need to get your car fixed and you're not a mechanic or something like that, they'll guide you to the right person. It's not that you need to have all the answers, but what I'm getting is, how many of these? 3. So this is the second one. I've become one of your guides, which is how they're showing you and pointing you in the right direction. And last one. It says, believe in yourself. You can do it. I had like sad face, but I just actually kind of felt like lots of emotion come through when that happened. Actually, I'm feeling a lot of emotion right now. I feel like crying. I feel really sad and I feel like crying. I almost see like I'm picking up on almost two energies. I almost feel the hopelessness of the person who's still here and missing their passed over loved one. But then I also see the passed over loved one in spirit form being there, encompassing them, and kind of feeling a little bit helpless that they can't do more, but they're like trying. They're like giving you signs and symbols and things like that. And I just keep hearing, I never wanted it to be this way. They didn't want it to be this way, but it is what it is at this very second. So let's make some more room because there's quite a few cards here. Ooh, don't spill. Okay, good. All right, so what I want to do is, these ones we only read the top ones. I just hear the song Kickstart Your Heart. And because Mr. Monster just walked by and he's being loud, but it was his purr. It was like, "Bah." And then, so especially after, with all this sadness and this heartbreak, it says, release the past, you will grow from this situation. Time heals all wounds. And it's saying like, you'll never forget that person. When you release the past, it's not that you're forgetting that person. You never will, because as they say over here, I've become one of your guides. So they're in the present. So if you release the past, you're not letting them go. You never can, you never will, because they're part of you. They're within you and around you. And so it's saying, it's more of like releasing the outcome or the situation it's almost like I'm seeing someone go over a timeline of events. This happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. But the domino effect. They keep seeing the domino effect. Hey, Mr. Monster. Okay, so this one, the Knight of Ariel, says there's so much to accomplish. Make a very detailed plan, being watched over by someone kind. And so the only reason why this one's in reverse is, I feel like, okay, two things. Not knowing, it's like staying in this heartbreak and not knowing that, not noticing the signs around you from your passed over loved one. Monster, what would you like to share? Just love. And so I think that's what our pets are. Our pets kind of give us signs when passed over loved ones are around, because they see spirits so easy. So do you ever just have an animal that just keeps looking at one certain spot or acting different out of character? And so this one's in reverse because you're not noticing your passed over loved one's signs and synchronicities. And the other one I'm hearing is like you're trying too hard to push things to go in a direction. Like it's like, I gotta take everything now. I got all this responsibility, and it's almost like this trying to push things. And as it said, there's much to accomplish. And so now I'm saying like, no time. Like I got so much to do. Like you can't have fun. You can't do all these things. You're up at night while everyone else is sleeping. And you're like, what do I do? And in this, it kind of is like a loop, and not much does get done, but so much energy gets wasted. So here we have the Four of Ariel, which was in reverse, and the Two of Michael in reverse. And it says, when you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change. Extremes in how you save or spend your money. And then go on and read the second one. They say, Two of Michael, which is Two of Swords. It will all be better if you just make a decision. Overanalyzing a problem, find a compromise. So I'm seeing someone, let's say this was your significant other that passed and they used to bring in like a source of income, and you relied on that. It was very, very important. Or I don't know, just other things could have happened. Maybe by the time they passed, maybe there was sickness and they weren't feeling well, and it cost lots of medical bills or something like that. So I'm seeing someone be very penny pinching and poverty kind of mindset. That there's all these bills or all these things that they need to do, that needs to happen, and this one's saying, when you give, you also receive. And so this person I'm seeing is like, they're not takers. What are they, Spirit? This person wants to do it all on their own, and there is no give and receive. And there is this happy, playful community change that's there. Whereas that compass said, I will always point you in the right direction. And maybe they are trying to point you to change your perspective, to have a little bit more joy, lightheartedness, and maybe let others kind of help with the flow of the situation. Ooh. I'm just seeing so much stress, so much burden, and it's taking my breath. It's almost like anxiety, panic attack. It's like my breath is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And so, what do you want to share on that, Spirit? Well, all of these are pointing to this happy, positive change. But the real thing is saying, like, you do need to release the past. Maybe how things were are not how they are now. Well, in the past, I wouldn't have had to do this. In the past, this would have been taken care of. In the past, in the past, in the past. And that kind of thinking isn't helping. And so it's saying, a sudden revelation that offers freedom. Break free of procrastination. Embrace the opportunities that change brings. So there's change again. And all of this was like, believe in yourself, you can do it. This one was all about overanalyzing. It said it's better just to make a decision. And so I think you know what you want to do. It's just, if I make this choice and it's the wrong choice, then all the consequences will be on me. And what if my choice affects so many other people outside of myself? And I'm not getting that that's going to be the situation or scenario, but I'm getting that that's the relying factor in the back. So maybe you have kids you need to rely on, or maybe, hold on, I want to go back to this soul's journey. We're just gonna break it open. Something to do with blame. And so now, and there's that fear, blame, fear, and doubt. They're saying you couldn't have predicted the way that things would have ended in the past. That's why we need to release the past, and we don't want you to have any of that blame. Because the more that you blame, so it's almost like, I don't know if you're blaming yourself or you're blaming the past over loved one, like, why'd you go kind of energy. But the main one is that blame on yourself, because I see now that you have to do all this. And so maybe there is a bit of anger. I don't get anger, I just get a lot of fear. I get a lot of doubt. I get a lot of sadness. I get a lot of anxiety that I don't know. I don't know what to do. And we never planned for this. But life has happened that way. And so they're saying, you know what to do. And so just make that leap or that change that you know that you need to do for yourself. And so what I'm getting now is that someone, it's almost like whatever change you want to do, maybe you guys had a home together and you have to sell your home because you know that this money will help you. You can go to an area where, you know, things don't cost as much. But moving your kids or something to this other community, it's almost like you have to let go of the memory of your past over loved one. And so someone's like really struggling with that. And they're saying they're with you in the present now. Even when you move to the next place, like they're the one actually guiding you with that compass. I've been one of your guides and I'm trying to point you in the right direction. You're seeing signs and synchronicities all around you saying pay attention to the animals. You don't have pets? Well, go for a walk outside and nature. Like a bird will come, a butterfly, a ladybug, anything. It will come at, and like, you can just feel that connection when it's a past over loved one kind of coming in that frequency. I also find that past over loved ones, you know, a lot of people who are non-believers are like, I need proof. But you need to believe and you have to see with your heart. But the one way that they do come to us is through our root chakra, kind of, right? Our root chakra is associated with smell. And smell is the easiest, like it's almost like the root chakra is the lower frequency. And so that's where our past over loved ones can kind of resonate. It's almost like the higher you get, yes, they can resonate through that, but it takes a lot of energy for them to form in that way. So pay attention to smells. You might smell their perfume. You might smell, like my grandma. My grandpa used to come to her in the smell of cigarette smoke, which to her was very, very triggering because their house burnt down. So she told them and she talked to him, said, please don't come to me in that form. So he came a different way, like coins or something like that, or birds. But the more that you talk to them, the more that you interact with them, it's not going to be a full-on conversation, right? Like I'm talking to you right now, but your communication isn't coming back to me unless you type it out later. And so I feel like that's kind of the same. You talk to your guides, you passed over loved one. Those just keep coming through a lot. Whenever I yawn, that's me trying to get more energy, more oomph to bring them in. And so there is this dialogue going on, and even if it seems like it's a one-way, they hear you. And it's not a one-way. They're trying to show you signs and synchronicities. Pay attention to smells. Pay attention to repetitive songs. Songs when as soon as you wake up, you have a song in your head. There's a message within that. Because you start off blank slate. Why is that song playing? You have many guides, but you can kind of build relationships. The more and more you build relationships, the more and more you'll be able to kind of figure out how you work with them. And the main thing for you right now is to focus on this doubt and this blame. We do not want you to blame yourself. I'm getting that, let's say this is a situation and you've got kids, and maybe your kids are kind of giving you this blowback of like, well, if you didn't do this, this wouldn't have ever happened. But in your heart of hearts and in Spirit's heart, they know that you're not to blame, because we have free will and we have choices. And when a soul has learned all the lessons that they are meant to learn, right? Sometimes they're just meant to come here and they're meant to learn peace. Maybe they're meant to learn forgiveness or how to break out of codependency or something like that. There's these like lessons that through lifetime and lifetime and lifetime that they were meant to master. And sometimes, especially like, it's hard to lose a child, but that child was only really meant to learn unconditional love, and you gave them unconditional love, and they weren't actually meant to go off and do the rest of those lessons. They've already mastered those. That's hard for a brain to kind of understand. And so when a soul is meant to go, it's like, it seems, it's hard for us And it is hard for the soul too to watch you go through this trial and error phase after of blaming and self-doubting and if I coulda, woulda, and that was never really supposed to be in the equation on a soul level. I feel like I said that weird, but I'm gonna stand by what I said. They're telling me to read this fear card. And so it says, because the spirit just keeps coming out. I kept saying it's not part of the reading, and it's not. But it's like a residual effect of something. And it says, I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. So I'm hearing love after loss. And so your passed over loved one is not here in physical, but they are there in 5D and all those other spirit forms. And they're unconditional love, and they've got unconditional love for you. Now I'm picking up on someone who in the 3D, that this soul, before they passed, they had a lot of trials and tribulations. They're like, my soul was put through the ringer. I came to Earth because Earth is the #1 school to learn and advance our souls. And man, did I pick some hard lessons. And so that's why they're saying, please don't blame yourself and don't have the doubt for yourself, because I chose all these lessons before I was even born. I knew that I wanted to struggle that way because I wanted to experience what that was, so that I could understand what real, unconditional, universal love is. You can't know what that really is without the pendulum, the highs and the lows. And I chose all these lessons, and I don't like seeing you struggle and blame yourself, thinking that you could have saved me, that you could have made my journey easier, because I didn't want an easier journey. I didn't. I wanted to experience life that Earth here has to offer in all its many forms, right? We have so much love, but we also have so much fear, and we have chaos. And I embraced the chaos, and I struggled, and I loved it. I loved the struggle. So please don't doubt yourself that because you couldn't help me get out of my struggle, that you are to blame. So that's a message for someone. And so let's move on to the purpose with change, right? There's a lot of change going on here. We have change, and then we have change your life. And underlying that, after you make this decision, once you release the past and realize that they're still with you, and in fact, they're with you every day, guiding you and talking to you just as much. It's not a one-way street, this communication. And they believe in you to figure out that problem, that thing that you keep overanalyzing, that you're like, I made decisions in the past and this thing happened, but it's not the energy or the momentum, because in this change card, it says, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. So the more and more that you keep overanalyzing and refusing to make this choice, and you have a choice, you always have a choice, and that soul that passed over said they had a choice too, and they chose the hardships, they chose the love, they chose everything, and now they choose to be your guide and help you through it. Because they're telling me, as I said earlier, you were a little bit wrong. You said none of this and you blaming you was part of the plan or the write-up, but you kind of knew that this was going to happen before you came into being. And so now here we are in this moment, and I always was going to help you through this, because this is something for you to learn. This is something for you to have trust and faith, and you're going to grow and you're going to build and you're going to be happy. And I don't want you to be sad that you're happy without me, because we want you to have this momentum. In fact, we are actually guiding you to have this joy and this happiness. And right, in that one situation, it was like selling the house and like the energy of the spouse, right? We had all these moments together, but they're still with you. I'm seeing someone have their sweater. They're like, my energy is in those things too, and you can bring those things to the new house. Something like that. But they want you to believe in yourself, and you can do it. And so I'm being told now to pull some more of these Talking to Heaven cards. Something about animals. I haven't picked up on the animals. Like, they're saying you had this interaction that was weird. It's almost like this animal like kind of came up to you or ran up to you or something like that. It was just like, it was like a wild animal or something. Maybe it was a pet, but it's like they were doing their own thing, and then they like stopped and looked at you. And it was like this brief moment. And like in that moment, the air kind of was different. Something was different, and you just knew that things were different. And then they went off on their day. It was like that moment. You have these moments. And so, let's see. This one was in reverse. It says, there is no time where I am. Time is only on earth. Whew. I got chills from that. And so, yeah, in the 5D and all these other things, there is no time. So to them, they've been with you consistently. It's not like things have stopped or changed. And whereas in the 3D, you know, they would go off to work or do these things, and you didn't have much of their time, they're with you all the time now. But they don't want your time to stop here, because we do live on Earth, and in Earth there is time. Especially this one, it said release the past. We don't want you stuck on the past in time. Time doesn't really exist in the present either. But the next one to come out was we will be together again. I'm hearing a song, but I think it's called Dust in the Wind. That song's coming through. Maybe it's not animals. Well, I am seeing birds. I'm seeing something to do with animals, but I'm also seeing wind be an important factor. So maybe it was almost like this crazy whirlwind, like it was all windy, and then all of a sudden the wind stopped, and there was this moment of like, and then like, I don't know, I just feel like you could breathe. Whereas before I was like, I don't feel like I can breathe, like shortness, shortness, shortness. And then this like real moment of like all the wind stopped, and you know, maybe the birds stopped or the birds started, I don't know, but peace. I felt like this moment of like clarity, and then zoom, right back in, and it's just like doo-doo-doo-doo. And so this one is was in reverse. It says, life is a series of choices. Choose love. I'm hearing Grey's Anatomy on that. Like choose me. And then I saw, what am I seeing? I just pretty much heard like, thank you for loving me. I'm seeing someone, maybe they had drug addictions or something like that. I picked that up a little bit more when it said they chose like the really hard struggles in life with addiction or something. And it's like, just Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being my friend. Even though I might have disappointed you, you loved me and you showed me kindness. And they're saying nobody ever showed them kindness in their life. And actually their soul's lesson, they chose all these struggles, but for you to actually show compassion and kindness really sparked their faith in humanity. Oh no, I don't got Kleenex because I don't normally cry, but that was a sad moment. I just saw someone just hate life so much, and not hate life. They tell me they didn't hate life. Don't use those words. They just didn't like life. They didn't like the way that life treated. They didn't like how people treated each other. And they thought that everyone was so self-absorbed and prepomptuous, or some word like that they used. I don't know. Just like rich douchebags is kind of like what they're kind of bringing through. But prepomptuous, I don't know. I hear words and I don't know. But in all this, like, and I think, I don't know, what are they showing me? I'm seeing it either that this is a family member and you never gave up on them, or I'm seeing this soul as you met them in their darkest time when they were struggling, and they've had already kind of gone down their journey a bit. That was really hard to fight that, but they didn't expect someone to actually show them kindness at that phase, and that really meant a lot to their heart, and they wish they could have expressed that to you more. They wish they could have shown that to you more, and that's why they want to be your guide, because they see you hurting now and they're like, man, you were there when I needed you and you helped me more than you ever knew. And it's sad because a lot of times in our 3D life, as we're still here, we don't tell others how much they mean to us, and they wish that they told you so much more. I'm getting another soul come through who's like passed over husband, and he's like, I told my wife I loved her every day. And it's just like, okay, like there's quite a few souls kind of coming through. Don't speak for me, he says. I tried every moment I could, every second I could. I told them I loved them as much as I could. And what I say to this soul is, you're a rare soul. You are, especially for the divine masculine. Well, I guess divine, you would be like that. I've been seeing this one poke out, and I really want to know what's on it. Because a lot of masculine energy, they suppress the emotions, and so it's a different story. So I pulled out 3 more. We got blue, purple, and pink. Blue, purple, and pink. This one is for their princess. This is a message for their princess. We have 4 of Michael in reverse. Insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek relief. Then we have the High Priestess, and we have the Page of Ariel in reverse. So somebody's daughter is kind of connected. They're, especially children have been spirit way longer than they have been physical body, and so they can connect to past or loved ones so easy. And so I'm hearing that I don't know if your child has been coming to you with dreams and saying, oh, I'm getting daddy, because he's calling princess, but he's saying like, daddy visited me in my dreams last night, or daddy's here as they're sleeping, and they talk to them. And so one way for you, I kept saying connecting with animals, but it's also with children. I've also tend to put children and animals just because they're pure and innocent. They really are. Isn't that true, Mr. Monster? Yeah. Animals and children are the sweetest. They got unconditional love. So, as this one said, I'm picking up on a little girl who's extremely intuitive. And it says powerful psychic insights, reflection, and meditation that can provide valuable information. Be at peace. And I get that she's at peace. I don't get fear every time. No, it's a comforting thing. And then this one's in reverse. An excellent opportunity will be offered to you. Scholarships or the pursuit of education. Time to get to work. Let me tap into what this is even more. So something to do with psychic gifts and seeing in dream state or before they go to dreams and they're talking. It's imaginary friends. It's her imaginary friend. Don't discard her imaginary friend. I don't know, I'm seeing a little girl and she... Oh, this one. Thank you. It was more of like the books and the scholarship and the everything. And so I was a little bit, it says clever and educated. She is clever because she is the high priestess. And so I do get that somebody's daughter, or could it be a son with feminine energy? It's feminine energy, we'll say. So it would be a more sensitive boy than the other. Just in this instance, all children can, and the message is to pay attention to your children. But in this case, I'm getting like a daughter or a feminine energy coming to their mom and saying, Daddy talked to me, Dad did this, Dad, and being discredited. And that's why this was in reverse with all these books and scholars. And it said, time to get to work, scholarships or pursuit. And it's like, no, this child has something to share. Not only is he your guide, but he's their guide as well. Whereas for you, it's more of like guide and guidance with that compass. But for them, it's more of a friend, an imaginary friend, playmate type thing. So, Spirit, what time are we at? That's quite long. I feel like I meant to pull a couple more, because in it, I don't know, I kept getting like the daughter energy, but then my mind kept going, well, what about this boy over here who's not feminine energy? Because I kept picking up on this boy as well. So let's look into that and then we'll wrap it up. But the main gist of all this is like, they're with you just as much as they ever have been. Even at like this second, I'm hearing running water and I'm home alone. But maybe that's through next door. I don't know. Okay. I want to pick up because I kept seeing this little boy, because I kept saying, this is for my princess, right? This one masculine energy is like, I always said I loved you, kind of took over that other energy. And then I just kept seeing this boy just stand there. And is this boy here, or is, oh, this boy has passed on. It's a little boy. And he's been quiet the whole time. Oh, okay, I'm getting sad energy just because it is so young. But as they said earlier, that when it comes to life lessons and life plans and goals and all these things, he's very quiet. He's very good. He was a good boy, he said. I was always a good boy. I didn't get in any trouble. But he got sick. And he says, the angel came and got him. And so he didn't suffer. And he says like, damn it. Oh, why? Okay, I guess they're like, save this one for the end. Because the energy I get from him, and don't blame yourself, he says, but what I get is almost like he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the things that happened. It just kind of happened really, really fast. And he just keeps saying, like, you're a really good mom. And it's kind of, he lives kind of in, he doesn't have that joy or happiness of passing on, only because he's worried about his mom, because his mom's not doing well. He's so mature for his age. I'm getting like, I don't know, he just kept saying I was such a good boy. He really was. Okay. Let me calm down. Okay, so the first one that I came through was Earth is our school. So he came here for a lesson. It was a short lesson. He really liked going to school, he said. He said he had a lot of fun at school. He really liked his teachers. Can you please tell Mrs. I can't quite get the name, but he's being drawn to something that's like almost pinkish purplish up in the sky. I don't know if that has to do, if it almost sounds like the name, or if it starts with a P, but I don't know. That's what I got. And then he said, I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. He really, really liked his time here, even though it was short. He knew coming in that it was supposed to be short, but it just is like at the end, he said at the end, things went so fast. He said they went so fast that I didn't really know what was going on. And because he didn't know what was going on, he just said like things were there, and then all of a sudden it was gray, and then the angel come and got me. And then so he's saying like he's a little confused still, only because, okay, let's just read the rest of the cards. It says, Eight of Raphael, there's something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you, a spiritual quest. Okay, I gotta say what I gotta say, and I don't want to say it because I don't want someone to freak out. But the only reason why I get that he's kind of in this gray kind of energy, or this void, is just because he didn't, I don't want to say it, he didn't quite go to the light. He said the angel came and got me, but then he decided he was going to stay with his mom. And so I do sense his energy around you. And so there is a need for you to like let go. I put all those other cards away, but let go in the past, and the blame and those kind of things, because he's sitting there and he's just like, he's still with you, kind of like trying to help you through your like daily activities and things like that. And so I am getting a need to call on Archangel Michael, and let him know the date, right? Whenever you help with passed over loved ones or ghosts and things, he says he knows his days and numbers. He does. Yeah, I do know the days and numbers, he says. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it right now. Yes, okay. And so maybe that's why. Okay, so what I'm getting is like that this person doesn't sense their loved one as much in spirit form. I get that this person has like lost people before them, right? Relatives. And they've always kind of felt their energy come in some senses, but with their son, it always felt different. It always felt like heavier. It always felt something. And that's because when the angel came and like helped him out of the body, he chose to stay earthbound. And he's just been kind of like around, but he's like, it's gray, because he's kind of in the limbo spot. And so he says it's gray. And so he hasn't quite finished the soul's journey yet, right? To the place where we go and then we process our life review kind of thing, and add that to the Akashic records. It's almost like the soul's still kind of on the same loop or journey or spin. There's 2 more cards here. We got 2 of Ariel, and it says it's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once, making work fun. And then we had the 9 of Ariel, with your dreams are fulfilled, hard work leads to great success, a love for life and the beautiful things. And so I can't help but see that this is like more of like a heaven card, whereas all of these are green, and it says earth is our school. And he said, I really, really like school, and I like it here. Please tell Mrs. P, whatever, that she was a good teacher. And then as this one said, there's something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right, a spiritual quest. And so this spiritual quest was in reverse, was to help bring this into balance. And that's exactly what he's doing, is balancing. And he's got the yin yang there and water on top with the infinity. And so I think that you've had this heaviness around you, and you don't quite know why you have this heaviness. And it's only because this soul has been kind of stuck in limbo, and we're going to help him today. All these guides have just come in. Tons have come in to help him right now, because he was standing right there. And he's not standing there anymore. And he says, thank you. He says, thank you. And it says like, now there's like that completion or that happiness. Your dreams are fulfilled. So it's like finally fulfilled. He's like, he keeps saying like to his mom, or I stayed because I wanted to be with you still, because you were such a good mom, and I saw you doing all these things that, you know, I needed to help you with. But now I realize like you're okay. You got to this place. And so now he says it's okay for him to go. And so he's going. And so let's pull another one of these talking. Wow. That was a deep read, man. I was met by so many loving people. And as I said, my room just filled up with so many guides that just came. It did. And the energy has definitely intensified in here. And I see him smiling. And I see him with a dog. A brown shaggy kind of dog. And then these 3, and then we'll go. It says, I am so much better now. We will be together again. So he's kind of, this one was in reverse, and that's why I was like, why? Like, we just had this rainbow moment. But it's like, he really just wants to be with you. He loves his mom, he keeps saying. We'll be together again. So he's kind of accepted that you guys will be together again, right? He can come in spirit form to be your guide, and it will be a... Holy moly, did that scare me when that fell over. And I just sat there for quite a while after, in just the moment, and listened a bit more, because at that time, right, there was all these guides coming, and they were going to help this little boy pass over, Oh, he's already passed over. Help him to the light to go do the soul review. Because he had chosen to stay stuck in the 3D because he's comfortable here. He likes how Earth is a school. And I just sat there and I remember saying like, oh, he's going. And in that moment, like, fear happened. He got so scared, and it just like, it almost showed me like a scene where like you take a kid to a dentist and then that kid just freaks out because, well, who wants to have whatever they do at dentists? And even my cat's acting weird now. And so I did pull some more cards, and I just sat there by myself and reflected, because I was like, you know what, Spirit, like, why would you even bring this story to my channel? Because we're not here to spread fear. So there's nothing to do with fear with this. Because I was like, why would you, I guess my fear is that I would share a story that would traumatize someone or make their day worse without the soul growth part to it. I mean, sometimes we can hear things that we don't want to hear, but down the road it was for our benefit. But in this, I was like, as his soul was like kind of going, they freaked out. They're like, I don't want to. And so I did pull some cards. We got courage, because he's still here. He's just very scared. And now even my cat's just like, ah. And so he's very scared. So we got courage, we got grief, we got failure, and then we got perseverance. So it says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. And so I don't know why, right? My cat's going crazy now. Why he would feel like such a failure. Because he, in all the first ones, like, because he did have a lot of kind of sad energy, like gray energy, I call it. But that's just because he was like in limbo. It was neither joy nor fear. Monster, it won't be for long. So let's just pull some more of these cards, and then, so we got a lot of Gabriel, 3 cards of Gabriel, and then 1 of Ariel. So 7 of Ariel. You've invested wisely. Have patience and wait for the harvest. Review your progress and make plans for your next endeavor. Well, that is that review your progress is that soul review that he needs to go. And for some reason, he's scared that when he goes to do this soul review, that something that happened, he's going to be punished for it, which isn't true. Because all these angels and guides are like, it's okay, like, come on. And so for some reason, he feels like he did something really, really bad. And so what I'm getting is that there's forgiveness. You need to let him know that he is forgiven for whatever it is that you got mad at. Whatever it is that he thinks that he's going to be punished for. Because in his mind, like, it's almost like he stole a bubble gum, and then he's like, I stole a bubble gum, my soul will never be forgiven. But it's just something so little. And so yeah, let's read these Gabriel cards, and then hopefully we can wrap this up. So Knight of Gabriel, it says, time to take action, great passion for a cause, instinctively knowing what to do. We have the 9 of Gabriel, with stay determined and move forward, be prepared for any possibility, environmental activism. And then we have 3 of Gabriel in reverse. Prosperity arising from wise planning, time to take the next step, optimistic plans that turn out as expected. So a little bit of what I kind of saw when I saw this environmental activism, I don't know, I almost saw I almost saw this boy as like he had come from a country that had a bit of unrest. And it's almost like one day things, whatever it was that his life was. No, he's not from a country like that. It's just what he's comparing or showing me to. And so it's like one day, you know, it seems like he was very much needed to have plans all the time. It was like it needed to be like this and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like it has to go through this plan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But one day it's like things got upheaved. And so he's having a hard time forgiving himself because 1, 2, 3, 7, 10, 3, like it went chaotic for him. So he's kind of stuck in this chaos. And because he didn't work through the plan, so I don't know why he felt like it always had to be that way. Maybe it was an internal thing, or maybe it was just the structure of the family home. But he feels like he's a failure because he didn't complete these numbers or these tasks in that manner. And so he doesn't want to go do the soul review because he didn't do something, or it was bad, or something happened. And it is almost like whenever a tragedy event happens, all rules are almost out the window, right? But for him, it was way too scary, and he just isn't processing it well, because what I'm getting is from this tragedy was actually his death that came about because of it. And so now we go to this one, wise planning. So he's the type of person that's like, I didn't follow the rules, I didn't listen to the plans. If I had done what they had said, I would, and so they're not going to forgive me. And so there's all these guides here. Everybody is helping him, holding support for him. He is going to transition over, but what he needs is just for you to let him know that you forgive him, and that sometimes life turns out like that, and that there's nothing he could have done, that you love him and support him and accept it. Because the last card that we were trying to get to was love is a series of choices. Life is a series of choices. Choose love. And so that's right. He thought he had to go through these lists, but love, there's something about love and knowing that he's forgiven and accepted, and that by him persevering through all this heartache and chaos to him, it's saying prosperity arises from wise planning. Not everything needs to have a plan, and sometimes you go with the flow, and sometimes bad things happen, but it's okay. And so he didn't want to leave, but on a soul level, the lessons that he had already, he's already grew to the things that he meant to learn. So it's his time to take the next step. And so you need to let him know that it's okay. Monster, we're so close, that it's okay for him to pass on to the light, because as these cards came below that we were saying, you will be together again. And then it says to choose love. And so it said, I am so much better now. And that was in reverse. It wasn't quite better at that moment, because he was still struggling with, I didn't follow the rules. I didn't follow the list. I didn't do what they wanted me to do. And so because of that, now I'm being punished. And now I'm sad and I'm scared and I'm all these things. And so now there's so much support, right? The last one, I was met by so many loving people. As I said, there were so many guides in my room that kind of came. And so last thing that he just wants is for you to let him know it's okay to go. It's all happening. It is. It's already happened. But I think on a soul level for both of you, that you've got to let him know it's okay. And that's where that Archangel Michael, wherever that is, way back in there, it was like letting go of the past. Letting him know that it's okay to go on. And he might reincarnate into another soul, and you guys will meet again on this earthly plane, or you'll meet on soul levels. But you guys will meet again, because Earth is the hardest, toughest school. And so he loved it. He loved school. He didn't want to leave school. But now things are, look, guilt in reverse. It's finally like letting that go. It's finally melted the energy of this situation. He was so calm and quiet the whole time. He just kept saying, I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. And he is a good boy, and you know it. It just, you didn't listen to something that you said, and something tragic happened. But letting him know that you still love him, keep sending him that love, and letting him know that it's okay to go to do the soul review, because he's not going to be punished for it. In fact, he's going to be embraced and loved and be able to move on to the next phase because of it. So one last one. Yeah, I saw a dog with him. I saw a brown dog. And so, Mr. Monster, we're wrapping this up. Okay. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.